So a business school went and asked 800 HR leaders how the hiring was going, and 98% of them said their company can't find anyone to hire. Then they asked those same 800 people a second question, and 89% said they avoid hiring anybody straight out of university. Right. So here's what an entry-level job actually is now. In America, in the year we are currently living in, 2/3 of them are held by people who already have 7 years of experience behind them. And 61% of the postings want 3 to 5 years before anybody will so much as open your CV. Entry level used to mean the first one. That was the whole point of it. You take the job because you haven't done the work before, and they take you because somebody has to go first. And now, nobody wants to go first. You can see it in the adverts, if you ever read one all the way down. Bachelor's degree required, master's preferred, 3 to 5 years of relevant experience, fluent in Excel and at least one programming language, must be able to lift 40 pounds, must be comfortable wearing multiple hats, must take full ownership of their own professional development. The only part of that job that's genuinely entry-level is the salary. I mean, what are we doing here? And then, assuming you still want it, there's the actual applying. You upload your CV to Workday. Then Workday asks you to type out everything on the CV you just uploaded into boxes, one at a time. And you do all of that inside a brand new account you've made for one specific company, which you will never log into again. Some of the postings aren't even real. Ghost jobs, kept live so the company looks like it's growing, or so somebody can harvest your data, and there's no way to tell which is which from the outside. For one of the real ones, you'll do 4 rounds, and round 3 is a case study you finish in your own time over a weekend. And at the end, they'll tell you how impressed they were with your research. That's the tell, by the way. You know that, right? Nobody who's about to hire you compliments your presentation. Anyway, the other half of this got automated too. According to the Boston Consulting Group, chief HR officers have now got AI writing the postings and screening the candidates. Some companies interview you through a chatbot. You log in, you answer questions from an avatar, and an algorithm scores your tone. That is a real thing that happens to real people, not a bit I'm doing. So the posting was written by AI, the screening was done by AI, the interview was run by AI, and a good number of the applications coming in were written by AI as well. So the whole thing is now 2 machines talking to each other, with somebody's actual future sitting in the middle. Okay, there's one more thing that software does. LinkedIn's ranking reportedly buries profiles that carry an employment gap, and applicant tracking software filters out people who are currently working lower-wage jobs. Grocery store clerk, restaurant server. Not because those jobs make you worse at the role, but because in the eyes of the system, they signal class. So it filters you out for having a gap, and then it filters you out again for taking a job to cover the gap. I don't know. Where exactly are you supposed to go with that? It just seems worse than the rest of it somehow. Brian Creeley spent years as a corporate recruiter and hiring manager for some of the largest companies in the world. And his point, which I hadn't heard put this way before, is that the bottom rung was never really about the work. It was where you sat in meetings with senior people and picked up how the place actually operated. Take that away, then cut the middle managers as well, which is what's been happening. And what you're left with is one narrow band of people who are neither junior nor leadership, with executives above them, making decisions about a pipeline that doesn't exist. Creeley asks the question nobody at the top seems to be asking, which is, who runs these companies in 10 years? Has anybody answered him? No. Now, the answer you get to all of this every single time is AI. And AI isn't quite holding up. MIT found that 95% of corporate generative AI pilots are failing. Most of the AI-driven layoffs have ended in rehires, and yet 1/3 of employers say they're replacing entry-level jobs with AI anyway. And by 2027, 47% expect to get rid of entry-level roles entirely. So it doesn't really matter whether the technology works, right? If it works, the jobs are gone. If it doesn't, the jobs are gone anyway, and the company rehires more expensively in 3 years, having skipped a generation on the way through. According to the Burning Glass Institute, 52% of graduates are underemployed within a year of finishing, and 73% of those are still underemployed a decade later. A decade. That's the one that gets me. It means this isn't a slow start you grow out of. It's a ceiling, and it goes in early. None of that has changed how anybody talks about them. Every time this comes up, the answer that comes back is that this lot simply don't want to work. And to be fair, that's not a new accusation. There's a quote from Plato complaining about the exact same thing. Every generation has said it about the one underneath it. But look at who's saying it now. The person calling Gen Z lazy is usually somebody in their 50s with power over hiring, and there's a very good chance that person has a kid who just graduated, or is about to. So is the whole generation work shy, apart from the one at your dinner table? Did you have no hand at all in raising the people you're complaining about? They say kids are addicted to their phones. Who handed them the phone? Genuinely, who? And every option gets shut down before you finish the sentence. Apply to more jobs. There are over 7 million openings and almost nobody's hearing back. Learn to code, which was the safe answer 5 years ago and is the one getting automated first. Go into the trades. WalletHub ranked every entry-level job in America, and the trades came out near the bottom, sat alongside the least happy occupations in the country. And look, the trades are a genuinely good career for plenty of people. They just can't absorb an entire generation, and pretending otherwise only rebuilds the same bottleneck somewhere with worse knees. Move somewhere cheaper. There's no work there, just network. With who? Everybody you know is in the same position. That's the list. When wages get undercut, when the hours go up, when the retirement benefits get cut and the health insurance gets worse. Nobody points up, they point at the people with the least power to argue back. Because it's easier. It costs nothing, and nobody in charge has to change anything at all about how they already run the place. I do not have a fix for this, and I am not going to pretend I do. You can't personally out-apply a market where 2/3 of the entry-level jobs are held by people with 7 years of experience. And anybody selling you a 5-step plan for that is selling you something. Calling them lazy is just the cheapest answer available. Nobody has to change anything. Nobody has to pay for anything. And it'll keep working for exactly as long as people keep saying it.